Welcome to the Week in Italian Startup, where we discuss the latest highlights happening in the Italian tech and investment ecosystem. All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Week in Italian Startup. Welcome, Nick. How are you?
I'm great, thank you very much. How about you, Jack?
Very good, very good. Kind of absorbing Californian vibes and what's happening here. So it's pretty awesome. New things.
Great.
Yeah. So, I must say, as I was telling you, Italy's not as far behind as what's happening here. Everybody's always close. So my guess is really that every single year, what is happening across the globe, it has really quick ripple effects that actually get to us extremely, extremely fast. So it's a good news. It's a good news for sure. So that's good.
Okay, so we're getting closer. Geography is getting smaller in some sense.
Yes, tech is getting smaller every year, for sure.
Okay,
Closer every year, for
closer,
sure.
closer.
Awesome. All right, starting with the bigger. Let's start with talking about some of the big rounds from last week, and then maybe we take talk about something from 2 weeks ago. So starting from Futura, Milan-based edtech startup raising 14 million Series A fund from Eurazeo, United Ventures, and Axon Partner. So interesting elements for a couple of different reasons. I would say, first of all, the the edtech space. We've seen edtech deal more and more, especially on the later thinking, post seed, Series A and B, more and more, I would say, and that's a good sign. On top of that, I would say the AI integration for sure. It's something that is coming. So Futura has been working with algorithmic way of actually optimizing education. So as AI probably is going to play a huge role over there. And given the latest GPT-4o, well, teaching you the sine and the cosine of a triangle and the capabilities like that, it's gonna get probably better and better. So I'm super curious on where this is going. What's your take on edutech, AI powered, augmented, and people working in this space?
Well, you're seeing the glimpse of a future where personalized education is a thing, right? So the basic idea here is that the pace, the content, and the way that you learn will be fully personalized to the person. So ideally, it should be a kind of an improvement because it will. So in theory, I believe that the basic idea is every single person will be put in the best possible position to learn at the best of their possibilities. So it's kind of a big change from today's way of learning, particularly in the early years of education when you're a kid. So kind of interesting. So I mean, we are witnessing personalized medicine, and now it's personalized education.
I
What do you
agree.
say?
I agree. And it's a great It's a great experiment of democratizing something which is extremely impactful and valuable. So, and that's a great use case of AI and how actually learning can get everywhere. People can really access education even more. So that's definitely great news. Betting on this, Eurazeo, 35 billion private equity firm. I think it's public. It's listed on the stock exchange. It's based in Paris. One of the big players. So very interesting that they're starting doing these kind of deals and more and more often. So that's a great sign. And the way I see this is that Europe in general is looking into Italy as well for investment. So I mean, Eurazeo is based in Paris. Axon Partner Group is based in Madrid. So more and more sort of the European ecosystem also seems to come closer, and starting from the investment side, I would say.
Yeah, this is what we were looking for, right? So we were waiting for these kind of players to come into Italy and leading the rights to this day. So finally, it's happening. I mean, I always thought it was a matter of time, because I mean, at the end of the day, once you have saturated the market, I think UK or France, then you go out and look for some other places to find good deals at the right price. So and secondly, we are having some help because CDP Venture Capital is actually attracting foreign investors through their international co-investment fund. So, I mean, yeah, that's important. So that's another effect, another way to attract foreign capital into Italy. So that's
Awesome.
nice.
So, moving on to another interesting deal of the week, Loquis, travel podcasting startup, raising 3.78 million from P101, Innova Venture, PiCampus, and CDP VC Lazio, Innova. That's something in a couple of ways. So, first of all, like sort of the specialization of podcasting, that's pretty unique, like traveling podcast. That's it's very much of a big trend, definitely, for sure. I mean, from what I read. So essentially, Loquis congregates and aggregates a lot of podcasting experiences from different creators, focusing on travel experiences, travel insight, travel content in general. So they're taking a really, really unique route on the podcasting space. So it was very curious, actually. And from the investor side, for sure, like, Lazio has been super active. So that's another good example. I think their main vehicle is the Innova Venture Fund. So that's basically where they're doing a lot of betting. The podcasting space in Italy is something that, I don't think it's still too much saturated, like probably in other countries. And there is still like some interesting opportunities over there.
I'm not, I'm not an expert, even though I'm on a podcast right now. But I agree with you. I mean, and the Take My Love quiz is kind of different in a sense. So this is, of course, entertainment, but also functional approach to podcasting related to both tourism and geolocation. So it's not your bread and butter Spotify podcast. It's something a bit more rich, a bit richer in a sense. Um, so it is a different take.
All right, moving on. Crypto is alive and moving, actually. So again, we've seen some crypto deals, which is unique after a hiatus of a few years, I would say, after the big winter. Now, things were definitely there, like bubbling, and they're coming up like essentially right now in different forms. So Checksig, crypto custody and trading startup, raising 2.7 million from a series of undisclosed investors. Crypto custody and trading. So crypto is still there. Bitcoin is moving. People are still probably believing in it. What's your take on it, Nick? Like, what is your impression?
Well, I mean, the point is that crypto has been making a comeback, as you are well aware. It goes in cycles. So we are maybe entering a new upside cycle right now, or at least a lot of observers are, betting on a new upwards cycle. Whether that's true or not, I still don't know. So it's early to tell. But the last wave was the wave of the big fails as crypto was rediscovering the financial systems and finding all the bugs for the financial systems, exploiting them, and then falling down quite fast. I don't know what's the next wave about. It might be about the real interconnection between the traditional economy and crypto, and Checksig goes in that direction. So custody trading in a way that's safe for the average man or the average business customer is a way to get towards closer. I'm not sure that's the main trend, so we'll see. Well, what's the feeling on the other side of the ocean around crypto?
Yeah, I mean, the feeling is that it's definitely here and it's just under the radar. It doesn't get any press, but I've met people raising like crypto funds in this moment, which from with the European perspective looks like odd, but actually that's not the case. Actually, crypto is there and still like moving fast apparently. Not at the level, of course, a few years ago, but definitely there are some very, very strong believers. So yeah, crypto is there for sure. On top of that, I was speaking with some people in gaming, and all the interactions and monetization and digital assets built inside some gaming experiences, they are basically a lot of them are using blockchain technology of some form. They're still using some NFT sort of technology. So maybe that's the space where also it's probably going to thrive, or maybe one of the space probably. So it's still there.
Crypto without the crypto. So crypto without the label. So using the technology, not selling the idea of the
I
technology.
think that's probably that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. And still people are developing like crypto startups, being it focused on the security of the protocol, being it on the efficiency of mining. Not much movement, of course, on the token, the sort of the token like manufacturing side. Of course, that's past, but still believers are working in the infrastructure. So that's extremely interesting still. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely keep in mind. I don't know in Italy what's gonna happen, but definitely in the US there is still like substantial people working on that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So there are, Europe goes a lot with the EU regulation. I mean, we are a regulatory-driven type of economy, and I believe there are things coming up. For example, full transparency in some supply chains. For example, in the clothing and fashion supply chain, and that's a problem that could be addressed through blockchain. So I expect to see a lot of offering in adopting blockchain technology to track supply chains in regulated verticals. So in this case, the regulatory approach of the EU might be net positive in new startup creation with new technologies. So we'll see.
Yeah, interesting. Right. On a closing note, let's maybe revive an interesting deal that happened like 2 weeks ago. Glaut, AI-driven marketing startup, raising 1.4 million in a pre-seed round led by Italian Founders Fund, Brainstorm Ventures, Alecla 7, Ithaca, Be Heroes, Club degli Investitori, Eden Ventures, Deliros Capital, and different angel investors. Again, AI is definitely like moving from the early stage, the early seeds rounds, and what we're seeing is more and more like a seed round in that space. So definitely Italy is reflecting like one of the biggest trends in the market, with the great application and vast application, as you also mentioned, Nick. Like Italian LLMs, it's a thing. So definitely. Good founders are working on very interesting things in AI in Italy, so that's super powerful. What is your feel this year on this one? Like, what do you think?
Well, the current market sentiment, I think, is if you're not using AI, adopting AI, or selling AI, what the hell are you doing? So you're probably losing your time. So that's the market sentiments right now. Not just in startup world. I mean, I think it's shared across the board. So the pace of innovation is so fast that I mean, you are either in or you're not. And if you're not,
yeah, the problem here is I feel that there is going to be a mismatch pretty soon. Where actually, I feel there's going to be a mismatch where the pace of product is going so fast, and I'm not sure that the pace of investor knowledge is capable of matching that speed in order to assess a project and then put money into like a project. So okay, we have specialized like VC specializing in AI for years. There's been like that, but for maybe some more digital generalistic investor investing in AI without the AI background, how far this fund can go. There is so much movement in the industry.
Yeah, I agree with you. no, I don't know. It's complicated. I mean, the pace of innovation is extremely fast. In the same day, Anthropic announces that Cloud is available in rolls out. Cloud is the chat conversation is rolled out across a lot of countries. It's 1 second too late because OpenAI just released Chat GPT 4.0. And I mean, they just shot a sniper shot in the head of Claude from Seta point of view. And we are talking about startups that raise hundreds of millions. So if you just, remove 1 0 to the amount of capital raised, you probably multiply the number of startups by 100. And over there, I mean, there are startups that are born dead just because 1 second after there is someone using just the next release of a technology that will just, make the other one obsolete. So it's mind blowing the way the market is moving. So I agree with you. So unless you are in there 100% of the time, picking targets is gonna be difficult. But at the end of the day, let me go fundamental. The point is, someone is just playing with the technology. Someone is solving problems. So focus on who's solving problems. So who's solving real problems, because they will have a more, solid stance in the market. So some fundamentals still apply.
That's a great message. I think so. I agree completely. Like the back to basic is always like a nice approach across industries, across platform, and across time frames. So on this philosophical note, Nick, thank you so much for joining this week episode, and thank everyone for listening. And I'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Jack. Take care. Have a great day. Everybody, see you in a week.